Okay, hey everybody, David Green, Scott Feather from the Fire Rescue Department. We're going to demonstrate the proper way to don and doff your PPE. So how to put it on and how to take it off without contaminating yourself. And this is sort of a hazmat technician way to go. In that class, you kind of learn how your PPE is your last line of defense, not your first. So it's important to remember that. When you're working, work smart. Try to position yourself in a place where you're not going to get contaminated, and your PPE should always be your last line of defense. So how we're going to start with that, you're wearing an N95 respirator, you're wearing a gown, and you're wearing 2 sets of gloves and eye protection. And that's for any patient that screens positive for having a fever, a cough, or shortness of breath, or someone that's been exposed to a confirmed patient. So any one of those things, you're going to be donning all of this PPE. All right, so we're going to start with the eye protection. We're going to put it in place, and we're going to put our interior gloves on. So that's a set of gloves that are going to go inside the gown. So Heather's going to don the interior gloves there. Back up a little bit, Feather. Okay. Now he's going to put on his gown. And notice that these gloves are on the inside of the suit. So let me demonstrate that real quick and then I'll tie you up. See, these gloves are on the inside of the suit. And then he's going to reach back here and tie it up like so. Then he's going to put on his exterior gloves. The exterior gloves are going to go obviously on the outside of the suit. So they're going to overlay the outside of the gown. So let me demonstrate that too. Notice that these gloves go on the outside of the gown is tucked into the gloves here. And then finally he's going to put on his N95 respirator. So he's holding it on the outside and then pulling both the straps over to make sure it's in place, make sure he's got a good seal. And what are we trying to get to?
The straps there.
Oh, yeah, they're good. So, and that's pretty high up there, so that's pretty good. That's tucked in a little bit there. All right, so he should be good to go now. And remember again that the PPE is the last line of defense. So now that he's ready to care for the patient or interact with the patient, he needs to position himself, work smart, work in a way that he's not going to get anything on him. That's how he needs to position himself. So now we're ready to doff or take off the PPE. Now we have tried to work as smart as we can, but we can assume that at some point we got some kind of contamination on it. The most contaminated areas are going to be here in the front, possibly on the glasses, obviously here, and the exterior gloves. So we're going to start with the gown and the gloves coming off together in one piece. And we're not going to rip this because we may end up using it at some point. But normally what he would do is reach up right here, grab this and rip it and pull it forward. And this whole gown, exterior gloves, is going to come off in one piece. To save this gown, I'm going to untie it. We're going to feed it up over his head, and we're going to try to save this gown in case we need it. So imagine this is Feather ripping his gown off. So when he pulls it down, he's going to try to work it over, pull his exterior gloves off, and he's trying not to rip it too. So all right, that would be disposed of in whatever location you have for disposal of your PPE. So now he's left with his glasses, mask, and interior gloves. He's going to touch his glasses first. This is probably the highest risk because you may touch your head, but remember your interior gloves have not been contaminated because they were inside everything. So now that the glasses are off, you can decontaminate them if they're reusable or whatever you're going to do. The next step is to touch your mask. So you're going to grab your mask, pull it off, and either dispose of it, or if you're reusing it, go through whatever reusable processes that we've published out. And the final step is to take the interior gloves off by touching the outside. You don't want to touch the inside. You want to grab the outside, and when you have a bare finger, then you want to touch the inside. Try to work it off like that. Put it in the disposal area, and then from this point, you're not done. You need to go wash your hands, wash your face, make sure you've got all your exposed areas well cleaned. So wash up really well, and then you're done. You're ready to don PPE for the next patient. So if you have any questions, reach out to us, call the EOC, and talk to Feather or Joey or any of us up here. We'll try to guide you through the process there. Thanks for your attention.